Okay, students, so just pay attention quickly and understand whether now in the previous video we learned what is surds and what is LRF, and now we'll do some sums based on this. Okay, so what is the sum? Exercise 1C, say suppose it's a cube root of 25 to cube root of 40. So we can do this as cube root of 25 into 40, and then that will turn up as cube root of, I guess, 1000, and cube root of 1000 is just a 10. Now in that case, if it's just a 10, so this belongs to rational. So this full number is not irrational. So this is not a surd. This is not a surd, isn't it? I hope you understood why this is not a surd. Okay, example number one. Let's do example number two. Say if it's a cube root of 64, is it a surd? Again, the cube root of 64 is 4, which belongs to rational. If the full number is rational, this cannot be surd because third condition is false, not a surd. Okay, one second. Not a surd. So what are the three conditions for the surds? Guys, we've learned in the previous video, but still I'll again show you that n should belongs to the natural number, a should belongs to, okay, n is over here, a should belongs to rational, and then this full number, this total number should belongs to irrational number, isn't it? So the total number over here, what we're talking is rational, which is not irrational, so it is not a surd. I hope you are understanding. Okay, now some students are asking, sir, can you give the example of surd? Yes, of course I can give the example of surd. Say if it's a fourth root of 27, so fourth root of 27, जहाँ पर 27 belongs to rational, 4 belongs to natural number, and fourth root of 27 belongs to irrational number. So it is a surd. So that implies it is a surd. Are you understanding, guys, why this is surd? I hope you understood how to write it on this question. Students, I hope you all have written this all the three examples in your book. If you have not written, you can pause the video over here and copy paste all these three sums quickly in your book. Hurry up, guys. Okay, guys, now it's time to start with question number two. Question number two is find the LRF. So suppose if it is 5 root 2. So what is the lowest rationalizing factor for this? Of course, root 2. You got it? Please write it down these questions quickly in your book. Second question, say suppose root 5 minus 3. Root 5 minus 3. So what is the LRF in this case? Root 5 plus 3. Root 5 plus 3. So these are all our LRF, lowest rationalizing factor. Okay, let's take one more example. Say root 18 minus root 50. Now many people would directly write root 18 plus root 50. But this would be considered as wrong answer. Why this would be considered as wrong answer? Because you'll have to simplify this, guys. This can be done as 9 into 2, and this can be done as 25 into 2, isn't it? So we'll have to simplify this as 3 root 2 minus 5 root 2, and then this will become negative 2 root 2. So what is the LRF in that case? LRF will become just root 2. I hope students you understood. So if you've written this as an answer, then you will going to get wrong. Remember that. Write it down the wrong answer also, and write down the correct answer also. So that tomorrow, in case if you'll before the examinations, if you'll have confusion, you'll understand what teacher had explained. I hope you finished till here. Let's do one more last sum and then we'll wind up. Okay, so suppose if it is 15 minus 3 root 2. 15 minus 3 root 2. What many people will write the answer as 15 plus 3 root 2. But that is again wrong answer. Why this is wrong answer? Why this is wrong answer? Then what is the correct answer? The correct answer will going to be, first you'll have to simplify, take it out common factor. So it will become 3 common out. So 5 minus root 2. So LRF will become Therefore, LRF will become LRF would be 5 plus root 2. I hope students you understood. I hope students you understood how to get the LRF. So always remember, always remember, simplify and then find simplify and then find LRF. You understood? Okay, one moment. Okay, guys, now it's time to start with the actual chapter. This rationals and irrational number. So, what is the question? Is rationalize the denominator. Rationalize the denominator. What do you mean by this rational as a denominator? Students, you'll have to keep writing, guys. You'll have to keep writing. Okay. See now, if you'll see the answer, or I mean, if you'll see the question in the denominator, there is irrational number. So that irrational number will have to turn into rational. So how are we going to do that? Simple, guys. I'll have to multiply these by lowest rationalizing factor. So root 5 का lowest rationalizing factor क्या है? Root 5. So that's the reason we multiply both the numerator and the denominator of this given fraction with this root 5. So this will turn out as 3 root 5 and root 5 into root 5 बन जाता है 5. That's it. So यहाँ पर देखते हैं अगर if we'll see the denominator, there is no, I mean, it's a rational number. And that is what the question means. Rationalize the denominator. Rationalize the denominator means we have to remove that irrational number from the denominator. Let's do one more example. Say example is 2 root 3 upon root 5. So हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We'll multiply both the numerator and the denominator by root 5. Why? Because the denominator is over here root 5. Now some people ask me, so why don't you multiply this root 3 and root 3? Understand question. Rationalize the denominator, not numerator. हमको न्यूमरेटर को रैशनलाइज नहीं बनाना है, हमको डिनोमिनेटर को रैशनलाइज बनाना है. सो द डिनोमिनेटर में जो है उसका लोएस्ट रैशनलाइजिंग फैक्टर मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे बोथ द न्यूमरेटर एंड द डिनोमिनेटर. Now some people are still asking, sir, why multiplying the numerator? Why not only denominator? Guys, that's not possible. Say suppose a upon b है. So what the rule of the fraction is, if we'll multiply this by say c, we'll have to multiply these also by c, then only it will remain that equal fraction. If we'll just multiply the numerator or if we'll just multiply the denominator, the fraction won't be equal, isn't it? So we'll have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator. I hope you understood till here. Chalo. And now what is going to happen? This will become 2. Now root 3 into root 5. Look, root 3 into root 5, it becomes root of 15. 3 5s are 15. I hope you understood. So this will become root of 15 and root 5 into root 5. Root 5 into root 5 becomes 5. Basically, you can directly write 5. But अगर आपको ये समझ में नहीं आता, you can do that way also. Root 25 and root 25 is also 5. There are many reasons why root 5 into root 5 is 5. 5 raised to power half into 5 raised to power half, 5 raised to power half plus half will become 1. So there are so many reasons. I hope you understood. So please understand, student, whenever root a into root a we do, we get a. You'll have to just remember this in your mind very well. You understood? If you remember this, many things will get sorted very well. I hope you understood how I did this question number 2. I hope you finished writing these also. Keep writing this rule, guys, in your book because they becomes little handy while you are doing practice. Okay, let's move one more sum. Okay, suppose I'm taking the fourth example, like 3 upon root 5 plus root 2. So how to rationalize in this case? Simple. How to rationalize the denominator, guys, over here in this case? We'll multiply this by root 5 minus root 2 because that's your conjugate, isn't it? Oh, what is conjugate? Or else lowest rationalizing factor. Okay, root 5 plus root 2's lowest rationalizing factor क्या है? Root 5 minus root 2. I hope you understood this. Now many people are asking, sir, why, sir, why? Don't worry, I'll just explain to you why. So 3 into root 5 minus root 2 यहाँ पर लिख देंगे. और डिनोमिनेटर में what happens? Look at this. A plus B into A minus B. Student, please listen very carefully and pay attention on the screen. I am teaching one very important concept. So what is this? A plus B into A minus B. What it becomes? It becomes A square minus B square. A plus B into A minus B. अभी भी हमने पढ़ा है expansion में. It becomes A square minus B square, isn't it? So if it is root 5 plus root 2 into root 5 minus root 2 करते हैं, that will become root 5 square minus root 2 square. You understood, guys? ये बन जाता है root 5 का square minus root 2 का square. And now what will happen? root 5 का square होता है 5 and root 2 का square होता है 2. So 5 minus 2 is 3 and that's it, isn't it? That's simple it is. So ये बन जाएगा 3 into the bracket root 5 minus root 2, and the denominator will become 5 minus 2, 3, and in that 3 and 3 will get cancelled, so the denominator is 1. So isn't it rationalized? Yes, 1 is a rational number, so it is rationalized, the denominator. I hope you understood. So the answer is root 5 minus root 2. I hope you finished writing till here. Achha, now some people are writing, sir, for every sum we have to write these reasons. No, not really required. It's just the concept. So I explained to you all. If you'll write it down at least once or twice in your book, it gets registered in your brain, and then for forever it will be sorted. Isn't it nice? Okay, just pause the video, finish writing till here, and then we'll move ahead with the next interesting sum.